What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to your daily dose of Manchester United transfer news. Is the Transfer View 9 a.m. every weekday, Monday to Friday. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to everyone watching from around the world. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you lot are new. And remember, obviously, if you didn't know already, you can join the UV Members Club. The link is in the video description below. So if you'd like to do that and you haven't done so already, please make sure you do that. But we do know we always need our 500 likes per stream. That's the minimum. Can we start that from now? Like instantly from now? Because you know what's going to happen. We're going to get into the meat of the stories. Some people will get angry. Some people will be calm, depending on how they respond to the news. But so that's why I think it's better to probably start the liking process now before you end up getting pissed off.
Or just too engrossed, because we've got a fascinating show to get into. Before you get too engrossed, you go, I've got the like out the way. It's like doing your chores. You go, parents go, look, you can play Sega Mega Drive. Just do your washing up first. Fine, I'll do it first. Don't worry.
Exactly. This one caught my eye because my auntie used to live in Bermuda. God rest her soul. Jared, good morning from Bermuda. 5 a.m. here on the other side of the Atlantic. I remember visiting Bermuda when I was a young kid. Amazing island. Really small. Really small island, but amazing.
You know what? It's just, I don't know why that's reminded me, but we were talking the other day. This was a bit of it's a deep cut to the members video. We were both talking about we don't like spiders.
Yes.
I went into my bathroom earlier, right? I went into the bathroom earlier, and we were saying the other day, it's completely irrational with spiders. I'm not going to crawl on you. I felt a scratch on my leg.
No.
I looked down. There was a spider on my leg. Halfway up my calf.
Jesus.
What did you do? I nearly kicked a hole in the drywall. Oh my God. Yeah. I thought they don't crawl on humans. I thought that the whole point is that, like, they're more scared of you than you are of them. No, they're not. You're just trying to shimmy up my leg.
Yeah. Some of them are brave, bro. Some of them are brave. They are. Some of them are brave.
And now I keep getting, when afterwards you keep getting that crawly
are they there?
feeling.
Like, yeah. Really, it's just a bit of fluff.
So if you see me like leaning down or whatever, that is because I feel like I've got like 8-legged freaks coming up my legs.
I hear you, and I did refuse to watch that film as well, by the way. JC says, why would I like a video I haven't even seen yet? I haven't seen it yet. Oh, JC.
Oh, wow.
Just trust in the process. Oh. Trust in our words that you will like the video. Or if you don't like the news because it's annoying you, you'll at least like us on the channel. So, yeah, big up to JC. Anyway, Owen, let's get straight into this. We've got a lot to talk about. What we got?
Yes, Frenkie de Jong. We're going to start off talking about the latest.
Frankie.
I thought I did it then. This is the point.
That was the most baitest Frankie you've ever done.
I didn't even... Frenkie de Jong. And you know what? We were doing this the other day, and then I saw a comment saying, he's named after Frankie Goes to Hollywood. It's not that deep. And I went, thank you, actually. But, okay, Frenkie de Jong, the latest drama when it surrounds him, because remember a few weeks ago, the whole point was, well, United and Barcelona sort of trying to figure out the fee, the broad agreement, but also the player's on holiday. So we've got to wait for the player to get back on holiday, figure out his future with Barcelona, etc., etc. Well, de Jong's back off holiday now. And it would appear that after this broad agreement that was reached last week, hasn't really been much of an update regarding getting any closer to this deal being done. Now, Gerard Romero, who was, of course, the first person to break this story, which feels like a lifetime ago, that's back when you were in Amsterdam, said that Manchester United's most recent offer for Frenkie de Jong is 65 million euros plus 22 million in add-ons. If United reach 75 million euros plus 12 million, Barcelona will accept, which to me is an odd report because that doesn't sound like a broad agreement to me. The broad agreement was 65 million euros, which is 56 million pounds. But he continues. Frenkie de Jong is speaking with Erik ten Hag every day, which again, you would look at, okay, whilst maybe the finances aren't close as we would like to be done, at least he's talking to the player every day. So it feels like the personal terms, once we get to that point, won't be an issue. But it continues. This comes from The Athletic, from Dermot Corrigan, who's saying that Barcelona are still actively working to sell Frenkie de Jong, whether that is to United or any other club willing to meet their 80 million euro asking price. But de Jong is happy in Barca and wants to stay. again, it continues. De Jong has now returned to Spain from holiday. His future remains up in the air, despite comments from Laporte over the weekend claiming he would do, quote, everything in my power to keep De Jong at the Camp Nou. Xavi's conditions for the departure of the player hinge on the arrival of Bernardo Silva. The last offer from United, as I mentioned, was 65 million euros plus 22. If they reach 75 plus 12, Barca will accept. As I mentioned, De Jong is in communication with Erik ten Hag on a daily basis. But yesterday, Frenkie, that was a bad one, that one. Frenkie, that was a bad one. I acknowledge that one was a bad one. Liked Terrell Malash's post on Instagram. So what does it all mean? I don't know.
Means he's coming. It means he's just happy for his.
Sift through all of that. I was just reading through that, and as I'm thinking that, I'm like, what a mess. What a mess of, like, we had a broad agreement. Now they're going, well, Barca might want a little bit more up front, a little bit less when it comes to add-ons. The player's talking to the manager every day. The player's off holiday. Is the player happy? He still wants to stay at Barca. Personal terms haven't been agreed. He's liking people's Instagram pages. Oh my God.
Yeah,
drama.
It's mental. There's a lot to get through with that. And I think it goes back to your old saying of, sieving for the gold. You know what I mean? And the truth is somewhere in and amongst that. For me, I do think it's important to kind of like maybe draw your own conclusions on this. And it's hard. I don't think you can tell. It's dragging on so long now that if you're in an extreme camp of why is everybody moaning, we're going to get him, you have to see the other side. And if you're deep on the other side of, for God's sake, walk away, well, that's not the full picture as well. Do you know what I mean? It's somewhere in the middle, and you just got to decide where you are emotionally with this. Where I am emotionally with this, especially after hearing all of that, I still don't buy into anything that's, me personally, I still don't buy into anything that says that they want him to stay. I think, to me, it's unanimous across the board that they want to sell him. I know they tried to paint that picture. Laporta tried to be smart and paint that picture of, well, if he has less money, if he accepts less money, then he can stay. But it's almost like trying to paint him as the bad one. When we're getting reports of, well, we want to sell him to anybody who will meet that price. Again, being smart, we've got the reports that Manchester United were taking what Laporta was saying last week as tongue-in-cheek, because he's got a job to do. He's got a whole fan base to keep happy. He's got not board of directors, but members, or how it works with their, their constitution. They have, members and people on the board or whatever they have.
You're elected as well.
Exactly. He's an elected president. You know how it works out there in Spain. So he's got all those people to satisfy, or pacify even, really, is probably the better word. So amongst all the melee, I still think Man United obviously want him. I still think that Frenkie de Jong, again, this thing because that's the bit that rubs people up the wrong way, where he still wants to stay. I think people are still on that and saying, why are we going through this for a player who doesn't want to come to us? And look, I'll stand to be corrected and have the custard pie on my face if it gets to the end of the transfer window and we agree a fee and we don't get Frenkie de Jong because he says, no, I'd rather stay at Barca and take a wage cut. I will take every person saying told you so if that happens, because I genuinely believe that will not happen. I genuinely believe that won't happen. I genuinely believe that in an ideal world, if this whole situation for Barcelona's financial situation didn't arise, he would want to stay at Barca for the next 10 years or whatever. Yeah, of course, it's his dream club. I get that. But I honestly do believe that he's been told that they want to sell him. So he's just kicking back and waiting for them to agree all of these numbers. And the numbers is what is dragging it out. And even I'm getting a little bit twitchy because I'm like you said, we heard the 56 million and we were like, tell you what, that's really good business, actually, when you break it down. But let's be honest, Owen, even we were a bit premature in saying that because it hasn't been agreed yet. We haven't even got to a point where the fee has been agreed.
That's why the terminology was so specific, wasn't it? When they said it's a broad agreement. And when everyone said, when they said broad agreement, and every single outlet, by the way, said broad agreement. That wasn't just Sky. That wasn't just the outlet. That was everyone going broad agreement, which means that they probably got that communication from both clubs, broad agreement. And everyone said that at the time. What does that even mean? And that's very much just like, well, we haven't really nailed down the finer details, but we've sort of come to terms of it would be total package around this. Broad is not very specific. And I think in retrospect now, it's what we wanted to hear at the time, because we wanted to hear agreement and we wanted to hear that things were moving in the right direction. We wanted to hear that things were moving closer. But when you look back on it, broad agreement means that it's still not very close in reality in terms of those actual finer details. I'm still with you. I still do think come the end of the transfer window, Frenkie de Jong will be a Manchester United player. But like you said, I can't lie and sit here and say that I don't think this is dragging on. And I can't sit here because we're not hypocrites. We were saying last week that we hoped by tour something would be announced, whether he would actually be on it, but there would be some kind of announcement, deal in principle, etc., etc. We're here halfway through the week now, and tour. Let's hope he's on the.
I don't even think he makes a tour. I don't.
Let's hope he makes maybe the last game in Australia or something like that. That's maybe.
I think
the hope.
I think
again,
it's Europe.
Oslo?
I think it's Oslo or the one after. Yeah, because at least that's at home. Let's get a super chat shout for me and you. Carry on, Owen, because there's a couple here. Ray Carl Brown says, "Of course, De Jong saying he wants to stay. Messi said he wanted to stay. Then look how that went. Look, I believe De Jong on the way. Just takes time. So optimism there from Ray Carl Amori. I'm kind of with you there, Ray. If I'm honest, I think we have to remember. I think what you're doing is remembering, the strict situation that Barcelona are in. I mean, like Noel says there, Barca needs money for Lewandowski. We haven't even heard them having bids for Bernardo Silva yet or anything like that. We haven't even got there yet. They've only just registered Christensen and Kessie last week. So they got shit to do as well. They apparently agreed terms with Rafinha from 4 months ago. They're just trying to negotiate a fee for him as well. So they need guaranteed cash flow coming in. And someone said, I think it was Chris, I can't remember who it was, said, why would they, if he's that good, why would they want to sell him? Well, I'd fling that back to you, Chris, and say they would want to sell him because they know that out of their squad, he's the one that they get most money for to be able to do what they want to do, which is actually an asset, which is actually, it's a big up to him. Shalil says, Flex and Owen, what percentage do you think this happens? Owen, give me a quick percentage.
I would still say 90-95% certain that it will happen. I don't think I'd ever be 100% certain on anything in life, especially after this transfer window. But I'd still be 90-95%. Like I said, come the end of the transfer window, I think he will be a Man United player. I just think, like you said, it's just going to rumble on and on, unfortunately. And Barca still do need the money, and they still have their ambitions to do in the transfer window as well. Like you mentioned, the Messi thing was actually done quite late last time, so I think it'll be the same.
Okay. My percentage, you're saying 90-95. Yeah, I can get with you with that. I'm going to go a little bit more reserved. I'm going to say 85 just to mix it up a little bit. But clearly we're unanimous.
So you don't think it's going to happen then, Fleck?
Yeah, 85%. Ask me 10 times. On over 80%, over 8 times I will say yes. Rick Shane says, got done dirty when the internet went down. My super chat went down with it. Peak. Apologies, my bro. Sorry about that, man. Yeah, we had the gremlins in the system day before yesterday. It was a madness. The internet went interneting. Shout out UV. It's been a minute. Let's get Neves now. Lau De Jong. Let's leave him. Let's move away from De Jong. Rick Shane's saying. A lot of people seem to think that. Just walk away. Thomas Martin has become the latest member of the UV Members Club. So big up to you, Thomas. Welcome to the club. And another super chat here from Ali. Big up, Ali. He says, if CR7 leaves, how do you feel about Lautaro Martinez, or Mahedi Taremi from Porto? I don't know the second player. I'm going to be honest with you. Never heard of him. So I don't know. Lautaro Martinez, he's a bit of a killer. He's powerful. He's quick. He's good. But I don't know where we're going to end up. Well, to be fair, we'll be talking about Dybala in a little bit. So, that could be an option. But, yeah, I do like Lautaro. Okay, we're done there. I'm back to the De Jong thing. In fact, you know what? I'm going to put a poll up, Owen. Let's put a poll up. I'm going to go with, should United walk away?
Can I give you my answer?
You can.
I would say no. I think it's the foot in the door principle. It's the psychological principle there, whereby you've sort of come so far that you just got to carry on. I think that's what United would think. We haven't invested literally the money yet. I'm sure there has been some money invested in terms of getting this deal done. But the point being is that they've just spent so long that their mindset will be, we can't walk away now. And also as well, we have to think of the Erik ten Hag perspective of this too. John Murtough's still probably got Erik ten Hag every single day. John Murtough's come back. It's taking ages, mate. Or they're so difficult to deal with. Or we think we're getting somewhere, and then the president comes out and says another thing to the press. It's driving me up the wall. It's really annoying me. And Ten Hag says to Murtough every single time, I don't care how long it takes or what it takes. Frenkie is my guy. I want Frenkie de Jong.
100%.
Last year's great. Eriksen's great. Martinez, if we get him, that's great. Frenkie is the key. And he might be saying that over and over and over again. And as Chris says, it's not Frenkie's fault. It's Barca. That's the problem. That might be the case. I'm sure, let's face it, I think that's a really good point, actually. I'm sure that Frenkie's probably there thinking, like, I don't know really know what's going on in my future. Yeah, in an ideal world, I'd like to stay at Barca. But guess what? I'd also like my future to be resolved. I'm back off holiday now. Ideally, I'd be in pre-season training or at least know where I'm going to be. I hate being in limbo. I don't know what's going on at this point. That must be a pain too. So I kind of agree with that, and it's not to paint Barca as this massive villain or whatever. They've got their own agenda. They always will. They're always going to look after themselves. And I'm sure they're trying to quickly do the maths all the time of thinking, actually, do we need to get a little bit more up front? Because then we can maybe do that Bernardo Silva deal and all this kind of stuff. They are certainly a club that's spinning a lot of plates this summer, Barcelona. And I guess all the time they're constantly checking that the one's not going to crash to the forward and everything's just going to crash around them. But from the other end of the perspective, on the United end of the deal, you're just like, oh, come on, please. I'm so glad it's over.
Also, there's the other side of the embarrassment as well. I think from Man United's perspective, like we've spent so long chasing after this player already, where it feels like it's so long. But if you just go from just when the window was open, you could say, when did it open? June? Or was it beginning of July? No, so beginning of June.
Also, as well, think about we've been linked to this player weeks before the window opened. Weeks.
Exactly.
Several weeks. I mean, it was when Ajax won the Eredivisie. That was late May, mid-May? Mid-May. So I've been linked for all this time. And like you said, I don't think it would happen whereby he accepted a lower salary and all this kind of stuff, because by all accounts, the salary cut he would have to take isn't just like, oh, it's half, but he's still on hundreds of £1,000s a week. It's like drastic. He would never take it. But if that did happen, like you said, the embarrassment that would be on Man United's face. Can you imagine investing all this time? Murtough's been spending his summer out in Barcelona, and it's actually, no, he just stays.
Exactly. And the key is what you're saying is that if Ten Hag wasn't that bothered, we'd have moved on. I'm just, again, it's hypothetical in terms of the example of player that I'm using, but I think my point is, I think the principle is still the same. If this was, I don't know, like a Ruben Neves way, he was like, well, we'll have a look at him. If he's available, we'll get him. But it was taking too long. He's like, well, I prefer X anyway, so move on to Tielemans or move on to Ndidi. Or I'm just throwing names out. I'm not saying that that's true. I'm just saying, I think that because, like you said, it's the primary target and he's so integral to how we want to play going forward. He's almost like the most important piece of the puzzle to start the change. And he's made his mind up of how important that Frenkie would be. I think that is another reason why we're just pursuing it. But the downside of it to this is that, okay, yeah, the team's going on tour on Friday. He's obviously not going to be in Thailand. It doesn't even look like he's going to be in Melbourne unless things move super, super quick within the next 48 hours. And it's like, if you want to start building your team around him, it looks like he's going to arrive quite late, and that will piss a lot of people off. And I understand that because we have been linked to him for so long. But, I'm sure Ten Hag would have wanted him in quicker. I'm sure the club would have wanted him quicker. But I do think there's a big part that Barcelona are doing here. A big part. They're absolutely desperate. But they're not desperate to the point where they're so desperate that they really want to get it right and really want to guarantee certain amounts of money. And they're being probably quite difficult. Maybe moving the goalposts, saying one thing, doing another. And that has left Frenkie in limbo as well, like you're saying there, Owen. Like, okay, he's probably thinking, well, Barca still haven't told me. They haven't said. Like, I'm waiting for my phone to ring. I can imagine conversations with Frenkie and his agent, just in my own opinion, probably just being in limbo, saying, so what are they saying? well, Frenkie, they're just saying they're still trying to get Man United to pay X, but Man United said they will pay that, but they'll pay it then. But Barca are saying they want that now. Like, all right, cool. So they haven't even got to the bit where they sit down with Frenkie and say, right, here's your wages. How long's the deal going to be? Here's the add-ons. Here's the performance-related bonuses that you're going to receive, etc., etc. So I don't know. And I think Barca know we really want the player, but also we know that Barca are really, really broke. And that's why this is still continuing. Like I said, we had the information of that. That was a number Man United were comfortable with. The only reason I can see it taking longer is because Barcelona have tried to move the goalposts and they're trying to get more upfront than that 56 million base figure that I think it was Laurie Whitwell or was it Samuel Luckhurst was only reporting last week that even that base figure of 56 million pounds would be paid in installments. Something has changed. I'm not close enough to the deal or in the know enough to tell you what has changed, but clearly something has.
Could you maybe see like Barcelona seeing the reaction to that initial fee coming out and everyone's reaction of 56 million?
Bargain.
That's not a lot. And they've sat back and gone, actually, that is a bargain. Yeah. Like we should be maybe asking for a little bit more because again, initially it was that initial fee was 65 million euros. Now it's like, actually we prefer it to be 72 if you believe these reports. And from United's perspective, United would be well within their rights to go, whoa. We had an agreement here, a broad agreement. You said that this was fine a couple of weeks ago or last week. So what's changed here? You know, and if they go, Barca, well, we've changed our mind or whatever, then again, from United's perspective, they must be like, oh, if we weren't so far into this, we would probably walk away here. But we're not. We are really far into this, and the manager really wants him. And again, Barca know that too. They know that we really want him. So it's this game of poker that's never ending, you know, or game of chess that's just never ending.
Yeah. Then there's not a name on this account, but it just stuck out to me because it's quite interesting. Have you ever thought of this? Frenkie can stay in Barca regardless of what Barca want because he's under contract. Legally, yes, but it's whether we think Frenkie is the type of player to do a Gareth Bale, really, isn't it? Say we don't really want you anymore.
Well, maybe kind of what Dembele was, I guess, kind of doing
and
previously at Barcelona.
Yeah, he said,
you know, where they were like, they wanted to get rid of him a couple of times. He went, no. And now, irony of irony is like, we really want to keep him. Just goes to show, isn't it? Football's fickle.
Yeah, it is. It is. Smash a like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Join the members club if you'd like to. Links in the video description below. King Eric says, it doesn't matter what Laporta, Murto, Xavi, or Frenkie de Jong thinks. It's all about what Erik ten Hag wants. Barca has a deadline to register players. Be patient. Yeah, that's true. It is about what Erik ten Hag wants. But also, for Erik ten Hag to get what he wants, it does matter what Laporta and Murto and co think or perceive things because okay, fair enough. Murto's going to act in the best interest of trying to get the player. Hence why we're still there battling, trying to get him because Erik ten Hag said it. But essentially, Erik ten Hag still doesn't have his man because of Laporta, because of Murto, because they haven't reached an agreement. You know what I mean? Whether that's right or wrong, they haven't. So I suppose, King Eric, you're right. But also it is like I always keep saying it, domino effect, snowball effect, whatever you want to call it. It's a chain of reaction. You know what I mean? Something needs to happen for something else to then happen. That's the nature of it. Yeah, exactly. Rafa says Frenkie de Jong show. Are we really getting Romero back as well? Went a bit quiet, that one did.
Yeah, I think that was largely pushed probably by the player, I think that was largely pushed by, because I think it was Rich Fay reporting it last week, and it kind of came across as maybe Romero's representatives or agents had reached out and said, well, now I'm a free agent, I'd be open to it. I'd be open to coming back. Why wouldn't you take Romero as a backup free agent? He's older now. I think he's like 35, but still, when he was Man United's number 2, he was one of the best number 2s in the league. He was fantastic. Yeah. So I'm a big fan. And the way he got treated on the way out, I didn't think was right at all.
So I'm surprised he'd even want to come back.
Yeah, but that's what they're saying. It's the people involved that aren't there anymore, i.e. Woodward, Solskjaer.
True. Matt Judge. Pat says, this is a good one. Flex and Owen, would you take Aubameyang, Depay or Werner for one season on loan to solve the striker situation? Then next season, the club can scout properly.
I'll take it. I'll take that. Yeah. So I'll take the options individually. Depay, I was never a big Memphis Depay fan, I must be said. I know it's easy to say. There's no footage of me at the time or anything like that. Yeah. But I never really got it. I always felt like, Yeah, I just didn't get that one. I mean,
Never
we saw
felt
like
it. Yeah,
no, I mean, we saw like when he was playing for Holland and the stuff. Who
in
did
the
he come
right
from?
Euros. Yeah,
PSV, and you saw those things of him scoring free kicks. Did he score a free kick for Manchester United? I was actually there at Old Trafford for might have been his first goal he scored at Old Trafford. It was against Bruges. It was a Champions League qualifier.
it's a
And he
great goal.
scored, yeah, really good goal. I was there for that game.
Yeah.
And like with that season under LBG, there was all this optimism, and then it just was just dull. But wasn't a massive fan of him. I still don't really rate him that much. I was surprised when he went to Barca, frankly. I was like, oh, that's surprising. Aubameyang, no doubt in his
Get him
goal scoring
going,
record.
get him chances, good goal
But
scorer.
no.
And
And who's the
Timo
other one?
Werner.
It was the other one, Werner. You know what? The thing is with Werner is I just don't think he's a striker. He's not.
Oh, I
He's,
thought you were going to say something else.
I don't think. I think because he misses chances over and over again. And I know he had a good record in the Bundesliga, but the more you watch him play, you do just say like, actually, he's just a good wide player. I think. I don't think you can fault his work rate, Werner. Sometimes you actually feel a bit bad for him watching him.
He moves. He moves
puts a
well. His
shift in.
work rate's brilliant. Yeah, he's just
But his
not clinical enough.
finishing's just exactly, just off. What about you, Fleck?
He's not reliable enough. No, I'm definitely
that
not
one
taking
back.
Werner. Yeah, I'm definitely not taking Werner. Depay, I think again, let's not dip our toes in things that we've had before and try and make it work. See you later. Not on it. He's all right. He's all right, but don't get the gas. And Oba, nah, don't fit for me. Nah, honestly, I'd rather just. People might say you're crazy because look at Batman's record and stuff. I'd rather try to get Martial going again and just do that. Just say Martial and Rashford, you got to do it rather than just fling good money after bad. Oba's going to be a massive piece as well, big money.
And also, and this isn't an indictment
No.
on the player or the person or anything like that, but he does tend to have somewhat of a circus surrounding him. And I am so tired of that at Manchester United.
Yeah,
So tired
yeah.
of it.
You look at the
can't.
way that he left Dortmund. There was issues there with Tuchel.
Yeah.
The way that he left, obviously Arsenal issues there with
captaincy, and then all
captaincy. And I'm not trying to paint the guy in a bad light because I don't know him personally.
No,
but
no.
if I'm just going off the past record, we need to stay as far away from controversy as possible. Whether it's positive controversy or negative, I get it. It's Man United. Players express themselves. I've got no problem with flashy haircut, flashy cars, drip, swag, sparkly red loops and that. I don't care. But at this point where we are, we just need calm. We need calm and we need to make rational decisions. And that means not rushing into things if we don't get our way with X, Y, or Z, because previously that's what we've done. Although Brian does say, where's that? Brian says, Aubameyang would piss off Arsenal fans, so it's worth every penny. Yeah, until he comes to us and does an Alexis. Do you know what I mean? And then what?
Yeah, and again, like with the Aubameyang thing, I'm with you. I have no issue with flashy haircuts, cars, trainers, dancing.
Yeah. I follow Aubameyang on socials. I like seeing all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I could care less. But like the issues with Arsenal at the end were issues of like discipline issues, like not coming back on time or breaking at the time COVID bubble rules, etc., etc. There was nothing to do with flashiness or anything like that. That was the issue. And again, 100%. I just couldn't. Honestly, more of that United. No, thank you.
No, it's the same with Pogba. I've got no issue with the way he expressed himself, the clothes that he wears, all of them things there. It was just a breakdown, and he was here for a long time.
And realistically, like some of the Pogba things, those they didn't really have discipline breaches.
No,
like that.
Exactly.
It was it was agent issues or whatever. If anything, it was haircut. Sometimes that pissed people off.
Yeah.
And that was just haircuts, let alone actual issues. So no.
100%. So there's your answer on that one, but a good question. Basically, would take none of them. Let's move on, Owen. Dybala agent talks. I want to talk about this one because we've had some reports claiming that we could turn our attentions to Paulo Dybala if Ronaldo leaves. What we got?
Yes, so this one comes from Gianluca Damasio out there in Italy, is saying that Paulo Dybala's agents are in contact with Manchester United. Of course, this follows on from reports, I believe it was the day prior, saying that the move to Inter Milan had all but fallen through and he wasn't going to be going to Inter Milan. He'd now turned his attention to other clubs in Europe, one being Manchester United. It's also being reported by other outlets. I believe it might be actual outlets based in Argentina, who, of course, Dybala, saying negotiations are ongoing with Dybala's agents for Manchester United. So there does seem to be this continuous link from both sources based in Italy, of course, where Dybala is based, but also based in his home country, that possibly Dybala could be negotiating with United. How do you feel about that, Flex? We spoke about this briefly. I might have been yesterday saying that, we had been linked to him in the past. It's when Spurs and United were both linked and they both walked away because they both went, the wages were astronomical. This was actually going to be a proper transfer fee as well. But how do you feel about it?
Again, the big name players, a circus that can kind of come with it. Dybala, I'm not sure on him. I don't.
Does
I
it
don't
seem like a
feel it.
panic? Does it seem like a panic as in like we're losing Ronaldo? Let's Dybala. We'll put Dybala in that role.
Yeah, but I think to be fair,
does he even fit that?
That's what I was going to say. As a 9, in a 10 arc system, those are things that we have to consider. But I think to be fair, you could argue that any situation of trying to get a player now, if Ronaldo leaves, is somewhat of a panic because we didn't expect Ronaldo to leave. So if we signed flipping Tammy Abraham, you could argue that that was a panic. If it was Calvert-Lewin, you could say the same thing. If it was Ivan Toney, you could say the same thing. Do you know what I mean? So Dybala has the name and stuff like that. People, again, just there's a super chat there. Death by Stereo says Dybala is quality, but his injury record is up there with Phil Jones. We were looking at that, weren't we, Owen, with his injury record and stuff like that, and some of the games that he's missed. And last year he did miss quite a lot of games, and the season before as well, because his injury record hasn't been great. I don't know, man. It just feels a little bit off. I remember a couple of transfer windows ago, it was between us and Tottenham. And Tottenham pulled out. He wanted big wages, and it seemed like a little ploy to get a new deal at Juventus at the time. And I don't know. Again, you want to follow the manager. You want to say yes if Ten Hag approves that. But again, I think if we got a Dybala for big money, would he be free as well? Though.
Yeah, he would be a free transfer because his contract expired. Again, the reason his contract expired at Juventus
is he a free agent now?
Yeah, because Juventus basically said your wages were too big, and I believe there might have been a contract offer on the table that was reneged. I'm not sure, but does that change your perspective
on a free?
But you would say that again, it's also important to state there is no such thing as a free transfer because
it's going to cost.
Free transfers will probably cost more. That transfer fee you probably would have given to Juventus goes straight to Dybala. His agent is getting very well compensated, and he would still be on big wages if he came to Manchester United. I'm with you. If we get the summer whereby Ronaldo goes wherever he goes, and we go, but it's all right, we've got Dybala, I would say, but who's the striker? Because Dybala is not a striker.
It's not.
He's a 10. He's a shadow striker. He's someone that links up with the number 9. If that is United's replacement, I would be very, very concerned. As you mentioned, injury records, age, etc. I mean, you can still argue just questions about his quality in general. Is he someone that can come in and really light Manchester United up? I don't know. I think it would be a situation whereby United might think, well, free transfer, we can get that one done quickly. It feels like as well that Dybala with this Inter Milan deal falling through, it's okay, now he's been shopped around a little bit. Who's desperate?
Who wants him? Exactly. There isn't a queue at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, United, they've got a bit of issues when it comes to attackers at the moment. You'll have him, right? You're panicking, aren't you? That would be a concern of mine. So Ronaldo's going to go, I think, and it needs to be a striker to replace him, not a free agent Paulo Dybala that.
It's just the name, isn't it? It's it's a big Adidas player, huge sponsorship. I'm not saying that because he's really good friends with Pogba that it means X, Y, Z, but it'll be huge wages. I think it would fit commercially. United sponsored by Adidas, he's sponsored by Adidas, that whole thing. But nah, it doesn't fit. It feels really off to me. It feels really, really off. Since I mentioned couple of people in the comments saying I'd have him all day. So yeah, for me, no. I think
no disrespect to Ivan Toney, but just the reaction when I think Ronaldo goes this summer and they go, don't worry, we got Ivan Toney in.
I feel sorry for whoever gets bought, unless it's Lewandowski. I feel sorry for the memes that will be made It'll
That'll
be
be
only
like,
United could sign Ronaldo for a year and replace him with X.
yeah, that'll be like the whole, Sir Alex wanted Kareem Benzema. He got Michael Owen. It'll be,
With half a knee, yeah,
yeah.
and a pair of half hamstrings or something.
And guess what he
Exactly.
got? A Premier League winners medal.
I can't believe that. Amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. Got what he wanted. Got what he needed. What he couldn't get anywhere else. Yeah. So Dybala, not for me. I think Damasio is a good source. He was like Damasio is like the Romano before the Romano. He's like Romano's dad.
But I would say with Damasio, because I recall when Ollie got sacked, Damasio was very much pushing Manchester United are talking to Conte. Man United want Conte. And in reality, it was Conte's people saying to him, say United are interested. Hopefully United will have talks. Make no mistake, Conte wanted the United job. And he wanted, because he saw that as a big opportunity, he wanted to jump right back into management. That's why Spurs happened very quickly after that.
Yeah.
So you could argue this could just be Dybala's representatives in Italy saying to Damasio, put out there, we're talking to United. Maybe United that tells United that we're interested, etc., etc. So I would say take it with somewhat of a pinch of salt. But like you said, big source. And given everything that's going on at United at the moment, I would think they're probably United are doing everything they can to try and not make the same mistakes of the past. They're probably, you know what I mean? They're like an addict. They're like,
exactly
reaching for that slice of cake because they've done it so many times in the past. Yeah, exactly.
Would be stupid to do that. Would be very stupid to do that. Just quickly on the poll, should United walk away from De Jong, which we did earlier? Over 1,000 people voted. 52% said yes, we should walk away. 47% said no, we shouldn't. So that's really interesting. Yeah, it's very, very close on that one. But the walking away is just about winning. So yeah, big up to everyone that voted. Interesting to see on that one. And Dybala, I mean, just put yes or no in the comments, guys. Would you take Dybala at United? Let us know. What would you do? What are you saying about that?
And you're saying Flex, yes or no?
No.
I agree. I say no.
Not having him. Smash a like on the video, guys. Where are we at? We're at over 500 likes. We're over 600 likes actually, but we are at nearly 2.5K. So, by the way, it's a unanimous no in the comments for Dybala. I'll tell you that for free. No point to do a poll there. It'll probably be about 90-10. I think it would, if that, probably 95-5. Yeah, we are at nearly 2.5K watching, so we can raise it. I don't see why we can't push for 1,000 likes while we're live. I don't see why not. If we can get over 600 now, we're relatively easy. Let's do it. Let's try and get 1,000 before the show's out, guys. That's the new setup. That's the new thing. Here we go. Death by I've read that one already. Okay, let's move it on. Owen, what we got here? Christian Eriksen. What we got?
Yes, there had been some hope after the Ornstein exclusive, and here we go from Romano about Christian Eriksen agreeing in principle to join Manchester United on a free transfer. The hope had been that it would be announced by the end of the week and he would be on the plane on Friday for Manchester United's pre-season tour, but that looks less and less likely this morning because Simon Stone from BBC, he is reporting that Christian Eriksen's medical is still yet to be arranged and other parts of the deal are yet to be done. So it's not certain that Eriksen will be a part of the Manchester United squad that leaves Friday for the tour. More likely at this stage is that Eriksen will go to Melbourne, where Manchester United play Melbourne Victory on the 15th of July before taking on Crystal Palace. So it doesn't look like Christian Eriksen's going to be in Thailand, but it looks like he'll be a Manchester United player by the time they land in Australia. Now, Flex, we were chatting a little bit before the show started, talking about this would lead a lot to roll their eyes, be frustrated, yet another delay on another deal. How do you feel about this? Is this something where you go, that's annoying? Or is this something where you go, look, it is somewhat annoying, but in the grand scheme of thing, what's a week? When the season comes, no one will remember the delay.
Yeah, it's. I think it will be annoying now because obviously we've got the De Jong situation. We've only got Malacia. Martinez has gone a bit quiet. Doesn't look completely imminent, does it? At this stage, as we're talking, at 9:40 a.m. But with Eriksen, it's like if he arrives in Melbourne instead of Thailand, not that deep. I think it's a really quick turnaround in Thailand. They're there for only a few days, 4 days, maybe.
Just one game. It's just a Liverpool game, isn't it?
It's just a Liverpool game and then bounce. You know what I mean? 9-hour flight to Australia after that. So, or whatever it is. So yeah, we're in Melbourne for the longest period of time, or Australia in general. Perth's only one game too, but we got 2 games in Melbourne at the cricket ground. So that if you're going to be there, that's not more important. Because obviously the earlier the better, but it's not that deep. It's not that deep. I think it sounds worse because it's like, oh, we got Here We Go the other day. He ain't even got a club. Why should after Here We Go should have been signed straight away? He hasn't even got a club. He's a free agent. It took him a couple of weeks to even decide. So why is it taking ages?
And to be fair, and it's a good point because we don't know why it's taken ages. I mean, they're saying there that the medical is yet to be arranged because there's other parts of the deal to be done. So you could argue that maybe that medical is the last step, and in reality, it's whilst the deal has been agreed in principle, there might be just some fine tuning of details, and maybe that's the sort of bureaucratic stuff with sponsors, with this, with that. I don't know. That might be the case. I'm with you that. And I know people, again, will see this as one and roll their eyes. And I saw it, I went, oh, it's annoying because I like everyone. I wanted to do the video like we did yesterday with Malacia. I want to talk about the player holding the shirt up. I want to be excited that Eriksen's going to be going on tour. I want to see that Eriksen's on the plane with everyone on Friday. But in reality, once we're a couple of games into the season, are we even going to be talking about, oh, that extra week? What a pain. He'd be such a better player if he had that one game in Thailand or whatever.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Exactly.
No, it's a short-term annoyance, but long term, it's not. It doesn't prevent him from becoming a Manchester United player. It doesn't have him reneging on agreeing to join Manchester United. He will still play the majority of Manchester United's pre-season tour and games. He'll probably play all of them apart from one.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree. Or
and
maybe
who's to say
back games?
Yeah, but you know what I mean? But who's to say, like, you know, even if he was on the plane on Friday, he might not have played that first game in Thailand because they might say, you're not match fit, actually, mate. You need an extra week. So,
and depending when Frenkie de Jong comes,
yeah,
and depending on when Frenkie de Jong comes, he might not even be able to play in the first game of the season because it looks like he might come so late because Eriksen's been here for a while. You're looking at Eriksen maybe starting in the first game of the season. Do you know what I mean? Because he would have been here since Melbourne, bought into what's going on, got himself up to speed, etc., etc. Again, it's just a hypothetical, but you know, you can see where that's going. But for me, it's not a big deal. They're in Thailand for a few days. And they're going straight away. Do you know what I mean? The main base and the main cusp of what's going on tour is throughout Australia, but more importantly, it's in Melbourne. I think it's Melbourne for like 8 days because they've got 2 games there, and then moving on to Perth. And Perth is quite a short turnaround as well. Probably it's even shorter than Thailand. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that deep.
It's not. And as I mentioned, once you get to like the season, no one's going to remember that extra week lost. You know, you won't be like, if he'd only have played against Liverpool in Thailand, he'd have been brilliant in this game.
He'd have been ready for the season.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's talk about Cristiano Ronaldo really quickly before we move on. Just before we do that, actually, where are we at with likes? We are at 760, 759. Slight reminder, let's go. Let's try and push for 1,000. I think we might get short of it, but we'll keep pushing. And smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Ronaldo timing was described as awful. Enlighten us more on that.
Yes, this comes from The Athletic, specifically Laurie Whitwell and Paul Ballas, saying that the timing of Cristiano Ronaldo wanting to leave Manchester United has been described as, quote, awful by some close to the club. He knew United would not be in the Champions League in April, but waited until July to communicate his intentions. Now, also, I saw a piece yesterday saying that Erik ten Hag doesn't want Manchester United's pre-season and transfer window to be surrounded by Cristiano Ronaldo's future. Basically, he just wants it resolved, which I think he's right to. I think that's the right tack to take. Now, this whole bit about the timing being described as awful, some people will say, here we go. It's, you know, anti-Ronaldo PR, putting out there, trying to paint him as the bad guy, rah, rah, rah. Or they'll say, here we go. I thought the leaks were gone. Fleck. What's going on with that? I don't know if you can necessarily argue with the timing not being awful, it must be said, because factually, but from what that report has said, whether you believe it or not to be true, who knows? Who knows if we ever know if you can believe any of these reports? I mean, they're credible outlets, The Athletic, though, it must be said. And I don't think the complete crux of Ronaldo wanting to leave are purely based on Champions League. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but we've said this several times. That's one facet of it, but also there is ambition. Also, there is maybe his family wants a fresh start. There's lots of different things. Maybe he's not happy with his Champions League pay cut because they didn't qualify the Champions League 25%. Lots of different things. But if one of those big issues of him staying at United was that I'm not playing Champions League, he knew that a long time ago. And again, as we've said before, I don't this notion that he gave United the benefit of the doubt for June to see what their intentions were. Well, United were never going to resolve all of the issues that the club has in one calendar month. They were never going to bring in 5 or 6 players in one calendar month. My mindset hasn't changed when it comes to Ronaldo. If he's unhappy, he wants to leave, he should go. I agree with Erik ten Hag in the sense of we shouldn't have his future or his unhappiness shrouding Manchester United in this transfer window, or if he stays for the remainder of the season, we shouldn't have that. I would really not want him to go to another Premier League club. I think that does taint his legacy, and I think that does hurt him and hurt us as fans. But I just, if he doesn't want to be here, then that's fine. But also get a replacement. What do you think when you hear a report like that, Flex? Do you think the awful is too strong of a term, or do you think that's fair?
No, that's awful timing. That's awful timing. Just about to go on tour. Of course it is. Of course it is. It's 100% awful timing.
Do you think it's sabotage? Do you think it's anti-Ronaldo PR by the players?
No. It's Ronaldo doing what he needs to do for himself.
And also,
Ronaldo.
If you go, oh, it's bad timing, that's not like anti-Ronaldo PR.
No, it's just saying that it's shit timing because we're just about to go on tour, mate.
Bad timing.
Like, it's not that deep. Like, any Ronaldo fanboy who's like, oh, can't believe you're saying this about Ronaldo. He's exposed the Glazers. He's done this. Ronaldo's leaving because he wants to be in the Champions League for Ronaldo. Don't mix it up. Ronaldo couldn't give a shit about the Glazers. They paid his wages all last year. Let's just. I've had time to sit on this. Let's just deep what's really going on here, and let's not mix up the what's going on. Ronaldo came here in good faith. I do believe he loves the club. He came in good faith and thought he could change or do something with us next year. Last year, sorry. We was in the Champions League, do you know what I mean? Etc. etc. It went to shit. He did his bit. But the team weren't successful. So Ronaldo wants to leave the team because it's not a successful team. It's not a team that can win things. That's it. Ronaldo's not going to be on the picket line saying, get green and gold to the club sold. He's not. Like, I don't understand. I honestly don't believe like this thing. Because if he loved the club as much, and it was purely, his decisions were purely based off of his love for the club, which they shouldn't be. Every footballer should be there for their career. But if it was based purely off the love of the club, he'd be like Totti. He'd just stay here
through shitness.
Through shitness. Man United still ain't going to win anything next year. Don't care. So Alex Ferguson bought me here. He made me the player I am. I'll play through thick and thin. No. So I'm not even saying Ronaldo's wrong for wanting to leave. I'm saying don't confuse the reasons why. This whole thing it's because he wants to hang the Glazers out to dry. Do you really think that?
Yeah, I think you give him too much credit. You think he's playing this 4D
really
chess.
Think Cristiano's gone, these Glazers, that 11 million dividends, I'm not having that. If I leave, that'll make him sell. Let's get real. Ronaldo's leaving for Ronaldo purposes, which I don't blame him, by the way. I'm not saying like, do you know what I mean? It's just an eye-opener and a reminder to us as fans that Ronaldo wants to leave because he always wants to play at the top level. And thought, and to be fair to him, when he came back to Man United, we were playing at the top level because we was in the Champions League. So actually, it fit in with everything.
Players, and we finished.
And we just signed players. He bought his Champions League Varane with him. He just got one of the best young players in Europe in Sancho. But it fell down. And he went, fucking hell, I ain't got time to watch that rebuild again. I need out. I've got 2 more years left at the top, 3 years. That's why Ronaldo's leaving. Not because he wants the Glazers out. For me, anyway. If anyone disagrees, they disagree. But I just don't get it. So any Ronaldo club or this, that, and the other, he's done great things for Manchester United, which can never be taken away from him. Walk through the Munich tunnel, you see our achievements. Go to the museum, go to our trophy cabinet. It's all there, set in stone, what Ronaldo's done. And having him back, the romance of it, I was part of it. I've enjoyed watching him. I've enjoyed being in the stadiums. You know, that goal against Spurs, you know, the goal against Villarreal and the goal against both goals against Spurs, the volley when I was there away. There's a couple of moments this year that have been fantastic, you know, scoring big goals, goal against Chelsea, stuff that, you know, good goals. But we have to look back and say, okay, cool, that's what it is. That's not to take away from the Glazers that we don't want the Glazers to sell, etc. Compartmentalize that. That's not going away anytime soon. We're all always going to think that. But just don't confuse the thing of like this Ronaldo thing is happening because he wants the Glazers to go. And this is his way of protesting with us, the fans. No, I even saw, to be fair, Owen, we probably should talk about this. I don't know how true it is. That he was upset that he had to have a 25% wage reduction because we're not in the Champions League.
That's what I was referencing. Yeah.
If that's true, well, what do you expect, mate? You signed it. Isn't it?
No, I agree. I think that that this perception that Ronaldo is playing 4D chess in terms of, like you said, is ownership pressure. There are several reasons he wants to leave. He wants to play Champions League. He realizes United aren't going to win anything. We're crap. Probably the wages do factor into it. Family does factor into it as well. And by the way, saying that, you know, if he's not happy, he should go. That isn't turning on Cristiano Ronaldo. That's not me saying, or people go, you were suing last season. Yeah, I was. I was happy he was scoring goals when he scored goals. But if he's unhappy, he should go. I say it about any player. I'd say it about any player. And no one player, even Cristiano Ronaldo, is not bigger than the club. And if they want to leave, then they should leave. Again, 100%. Ideally, it wouldn't be to a Premier League club. I hope it's not, because that will really leave a sour taste in my mouth, certainly as a fan.
Yeah.
But
it puts even more thing on it that it's really just to be successful. Forget Man United.
Yeah, exactly.
That would prove our point more, that it's just about Ronaldo. If he goes to Chelsea, means he don't care.
Yeah, and also as well, the thing that frustrates me a little bit in the last few days is almost this blindness that we're ignoring, that he's trying to force through a move away from the club. Like, there is this blindness of like you said, dressing up in terms of it's a protest, it's this, it's that. Like, he's still trying to force his way out of the club when he has a year left under his contract. Let's not ignore that. That is a real thing. If there was
even
any
if you get
other
why
player,
he wants to leave.
Yeah, and I understand, and some of his reasons I got fair enough. You know, I can't argue with that. You can't even dispute it, can you? Again, you talk about timing. Where was the right time to do it, or you knew this, whatever. But still, he still has a year left, and he's still forcing through a move. If it was any other player, you would say, don't know about that, mate. But I would also 100%. Say any other player, if it was De Gea, if it was whoever, if it was Rashford, if it was whoever, if they don't want to be here, then they can go. That's what we've said about every player. We said about Martial. If he doesn't want to be here,
we need to be as a club. That's where we're saying we need to be as a club. And it doesn't undo. I still stand by what I said during the season when people were blaming Ronaldo for Manchester United being shit. I think that was incorrect. I still stand by everything I said of that he was our best player this season, and without him, we would have finished bloody 15th or some shit like that.
Yeah, he was
all
not
of them
the
things.
Problem,
he was not. He was not the problem. But for me, everything just. And I would have. And again, I was still happy to have Ronaldo. We need Ronaldo. Like,
in an ideal world, Ten Hag has a conversation with him, and he goes, "You know what? I'll stay," and then I'd be happy. I'd be like,
"That's what I'm saying," and that's what it looked like at the beginning. So it was all like, "Listen." I keep saying it. Ten Hag needs constants. He needs Ronaldo. He needs De Gea. We sort the rest out later. He's got so much shit to sort out. We need to keep him. So that's fine. But it's not flip-flopping when new information comes out that he goes, don't want to be here, mate. A couple of days before coming back to, training and gearing up to go to tour, I don't want to be here. I'm sorting shit out. Obviously, the family thing, so I'll leave that alone because, you know what I mean? I would never want to be accused of going in hard when you don't know. But what we do know is about the footballing reasons. So if you want out, not a problem. Obviously, it leaves us with a problem, but in the grand scheme of things, not a problem. But please, guys, just in my opinion anyway, and I'm not saying you must agree with me, I'm just giving you my honest opinion. Please don't, get it muddled and get confused as to why Ronaldo wants to leave for Ronaldo, is what I'm saying. He wants to leave for Ronaldo first and foremost because, and you know what? I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. I'm not even saying it. I'm just saying that's what it is. If any player wants to leave, if any player wants to go and further their career or is not sure about staying somewhere because they feel like they can, football is a short career, man. And someone like Cristiano Ronaldo who's played at the top level pretty much all the way through it, you know, it's hard for them to just accept mediocrity. So I understand all the reasons. I'm just saying, don't get it twisted. Don't let anyone sell it to you that he's leaving because he wants to have a green and gold scarf on and walk down Sir Matt Busby Way saying green and gold to the club is sold, because that's not what he wants.
And
it's not what he's going to
do. Not everything is like, oh, he doesn't actually mean this. He actually means this. But Ronaldo's actually very transparent in what he's doing.
Yeah, he means what he says. I don't want to play here. You're shit.
This isn't like, this isn't Morse code. It's not like, oh, it's actually meaning this. Decode the message. You know what I mean? It's not. It's not. This isn't a cipher. No. It's him wanting to leave the club. That is what that is.
It's that simple. If we were good and we got Champions League last year and we won the FA Cup, he probably wouldn't be happening.
Wouldn't even be a conversation.
But guess what? We had our worst points tally in the Premier League era. I keep saying we went out of both domestic cups at the first time of asking. We went out at the first time of asking in the Champions League group knockout stages after Ronaldo clawed us through, and he probably didn't even have a shot in 2 legs against Atletico Madrid. Didn't even touch the ball. That's why he's leaving. Ronaldo ran over. It just really annoyed me. When you look on social media and I keep seeing this, well done, Ronnie. Well done for exposing the Glazers, Ronnie. What? What are you talking about? Big up Manzir, my guy, man. Big up Manzir. Not coming through with a comment, but I know just showing generic love. Good friend of mine, Manzir, man. Big up to you, bro. Need to go for a beer and that when the season's on, when you're at a game, bro. Big up to you. And lastly, pre-season Pirlo. Here we go. No more pre-season Pirlo.
He's gone. After all the Flamengo stuff, after all these coming back, Ten Hag's going to have a look. Pereira is off to Fulham. Fabrizio Romano tweeted yesterday evening, Andreas Pereira to Fulham. Here we go. Full agreement in place on the player side. 3-year deal with an option for a further season. The transfer fee, which I know we're all interested in, Manchester United will receive £10 million first plus 3 million quid in add-ons. The deal was already agreed between the clubs last week. Now it's all set to be done. 13 million quid, 10 million up front. You happy with that? Flex for Andreas Pereira?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to run around to the hilltops and celebrate massively, but it's just finally, I actually wish him all the best. It's just finally we can just find a solution. I feel like he's been in the bracket of a few players who we just need to find long-term solutions for and get them moved on, get a bit of money. Jones falls into that. Tuanzebe falls into that. Brandon Williams, not as long, but he's going to fall into that. Bailly definitely falls into that. We just need something permanent to happen instead of keep going on loan, coming back. What's going to happen? Oh, we still got to pay wages. Oh, another get it done. And at least, fair play to Pereira. I hope he has a good Premier League, career, and finds a home at Fulham and they can stay up and he has a good year and stuff like that. Because it's I want to see, players who have been associated with Man United at least go on to have good careers. But yeah, I'm just like 10 million is good money for him. We'll take that. It's not like, wow, oh my God, but it's like, it's yeah, fine. Nice little 10 mil, we move. Let's add that into the 12 million we need to add on in these add-ons with Frenkie. Do what you need to do. Just use the money. Get the money quick.
Look, how much have we heard that this summer in terms of other deals rely on player sales? Well, there's one. There's 10 million up at the very least.
Yeah,
that might go a long way. That might get another deal over the line. I think that's a good fee for Pereira. And like you said, I'm happy not to say, oh, he's terrible, he's rubbish, rah, rah, rah. I don't think he's good enough for Manchester United. I think that's clear to say. But I'm just glad that there's been a solution to an issue that's constantly been. He's gone out on loan here. He's gone out on loan here. How many loan deals has this guy had, right? So I'm just glad that there's a permanent, long-term solution with a decent fee. Transfer windows aren't just all about incomings; they're about outgoings as well. And I think this is a good
because where's he been? He went Lazio, Valencia.
Lazio, Valencia, Flamengo. He might have gone somewhere else as well. I want to say he might have gone to Holland or something as well. But like,
yes,
again,
actually, yeah. Or did he come from? Yeah, I do remember him. Yeah, I do remember him going to Holland. Actually, I want to say that. Yeah,
but you know,
he needs a home now, man.
I don't forget his goal he scored against. Who was it? It was one of Ollie's first games at Old Trafford. Was it Southampton?
Yeah, when he should have. I remember at the end of the game, right?
What a goal!
And he should have. I tell you what, I was like, do you know, I was sitting next to him in that game. I sit next to Mark in that game.
Oh, really?
He came to the game with me that day. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and he should have was both saying, pass it, hurry up and pass it, you idiot. And he just ignored him, whipped it top bins. Yeah, good goal that. And the one in pre-season last year against Brentford, was it?
Yeah.
Just smashed it from nowhere. He's a scorer of great goals, but not a great goal scorer. There you go. Nathan says that CR7 couldn't care less about United. His love was for Sir Alex, not really for United. Love the guy, but he's about himself, always has been, and that's okay. Basically, Nathan saying, I just understand what Ronaldo, kind of is, etc., etc. And the latest member of United Members Club is Ash Odu. Big up to Ash as well. Wicked day, wicked stream. Really good engagement, guys. You should be happy with that. We're happy with that. Big up to you guys getting involved, everyone getting involved. What did we get? Oh, we got 940. 940. Come on, guys. Come on. May as well get to 1,000 on the way out. We're at 940.
Distance.
Do you know what I mean? There's got to be 60 of you that are like, all these hats falling down. There's got to be 60 of you that are like, come on, we can make it happen we can make it happen. So on the way out, guys, we'll leave you with that task to get us up. There you go. We're at 960 now. We need 40. We'll hit it home. We're good. I believe in the community.
Yes.
This evening, 6 p.m, Flexing KG show will be back. A couple of people were asking in the comments, where was it yesterday? I did say, so you must have missed it. I did say it wasn't going to be on yesterday. KG was at an award show. He won an award as well. Big up to KG. Sure,
I saw that.
Like that. Yeah, big up to him.
Was it Drunk History? I believe it was.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that as well. It was right up our street. If you haven't watched it, make sure you check it out. It's basically KG finished with Travis J and a few other comedians as well, just having some fun. They won an award for that. They did that show with BET, so big up to that. Want to see your people winning. Anyone involved with the channel want to see them doing well, so big up to that. And we'll be back at 6 p.m. with the Flexing KG show as well. So, and we hit 1,000 likes as well, so big up to everyone in the chat who made it happen for us on the way out. Perfect timing. We're out of it, guys. See you soon. Peace.